everybody. Happy Aloha Wednesday. Welcome to the Hawaii Fishing Gear Show. We are High Fish Gear, highfishgear.com. If you folks got questions about fishing, I invite you to drop them in the comments right now while we're live. And if you're watching the video later in the day and you got questions, drop them in the comments. We'll do our best to respond to the comments throughout the evening into the next day. We got a panel of experts. There's also great responses from the general public in the comments. If you need some advice about fishing, drop them in the comments. There's enough people around to help out. That's part of what we do for the community. We got an incredible Hawaii fishing community. If you haven't noticed already, pay attention. All right, while we wait for some questions to come on through, we got a pause connection over there on Instagram. While we wait for the questions to come through, let's talk about some brand new products on the front page of our website. Got to pay the bills this way. Everybody out there with medium heavy nitros or medium nitros, and you want to slide, but you don't want to invest in the extra heavy slides, okay? We brought in medium game slides. We have light game, medium game, and the standard slides. I want to sell you out there, guys that are hardcore slide bait guys, 80-pound test on the new L550s. They're running 6/0. They're running hardcore reels and they get the best pulls possible. They're not going to like these slides, okay? This is not for those guys. I'm not trying to sell you hardcore hammers out there these slides. These are for the guys that like sample, try them out. Good, medium game slides with a little luminescent glow bead, all right? We're selling these in 10 packs right now on highfishgear.com. Front page of the website under new products. Medium game one-way slides. And I wanted to say tonight, whoever orders a bag of these, a 10-pack for $16.99, I'm throwing in a 3-pack of HFG slide bait stoppers. Slide bait stoppers, 3-pack with a 10-pack of slides. For all you guys that want to sample slide baiting, this is a great place to start. Medium game, rated for like 30 to 50-pound tests. For most of you guys out there that want to try slide baiting with a medium heavy nitro, and say for instance a Daiwa Sea Lion or a Jig Master or something like that that's spooled up with 40 to 50-pound test, $16.99 you get 10 slides. And for a limited time we're going to throw in a 3-pack of HFG slide bait stoppers because you need those if you want to use those. All right, we also got restocked yesterday Go Mexis. This is the one that some of you guys were asking about. This is a plug-and-play handle for the Pen Jig Master. Plug-and-play handle for the Jig Master. Cannot go wrong. $35. All you do is you take off that old weird counterbalance handle. You get one nice power handle with one nice knob. Silver and black. Pen Jig Master or your Pen 3.0. It fits on that as well. Island flies. They dropped off those hybrid flies last week. Shout out Ken once again. Mahalo for that. But he also said, hey, the other flies are moving. I got some other colors. You want to give them a shot? I said, let's get them. He restocked all of the colors that we had previously, and he added 3 new colors. I'm not even sure which colors are new. I got to take a look and see which ones are which. But $14.99 locally tied flies on the island of Oahu. Island flies, these ones called the Diamond Heads. Whipping flies made in Hawaii. We got 3 new colors on the website if you want to go check them out, highfishgear.com. I see a black and white, yellow, white, green, white, a nice luminescence, a brown, and a red. 6 different colors to choose from. And also check out those hybrids when you're on the website. Island flies, locally tied flies, available on highfishgear.com and in the shop. Let's go ahead and check out the questions that I see coming through. Any tips on getting more yards than casting in a low pull? I'm averaging about 70 yards. On a Pen 4.0, or if you're just getting into it, 70 yards is not a bad cast. To get a little bit more, I would suggest playing with maybe your lead sizes, maybe upping the lead size a little bit more, maybe wetting the reel, loosening your tension control if you have a sea line, or lubricating your reel. There's a lot of different little things that might get you extra steps. Also try adjusting your cast style. There's a pendulum cast where you swing your lead, and as soon as it hits the back part, you let it go. Also try a drag cast. Some people might have better mechanics with a drag cast where you lay your lead down flat on the ground, and then you get into your cast where you're dragging your lead on the ground, whoop, Not ideal for when you're casting on an incline. The best for an incline is usually going to wind up being the pendulum cast. But try different techniques in casting. Try lubricating your reel, try a different lead, and then also just practice. All right. Hawaiian Pocho says, seen the location, awesome. Just a little heads up, we are changing locations, but we are still currently at our previous location until further notice. I tell you right now, the moment that that shop is ready for business, I will let everybody know. I'm going to shout them from the rooftop, hey, we open over here now. I'll let you know. But in the meantime, we're still working on it. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. It was like 4 months. 4 months it took to get that shop. It took 4 months of just going back and forth. Craziness, but here we are. We're moving across the street 110 yards to a bigger location, in case you didn't know. All right. What's a good spinning setup for live bait, free line, hallelujah? Free line, hallelujah. I would probably go with your basic dunking setup, spinning reel. You can actually flip the bail and let the hallelujah kind of take the line out. Unless you want to invest in a live liner. A live liner basically is a free spool with the bail still down. But we won't get into that. Let them go. Let them run free spool. Lighten the drag if you like, or you can let them pull out drag. That'll probably work out fine. I think, AD, hopefully that answers your question. Good spinning setup. I would probably go with a minimum 6K pen, maybe like an 8K Shimano, somewhere around there. Or your dunking setup. If you already got an 8K pen, go ahead and use that. Might as well. I just got to say much mahalo for all the help and dedication you give all of us and keeping on. Middle first, mahalo for that. And I do appreciate it when guys come through and they're just, you know, they get it. We meet in the shop or something, and all the guys telling me thank you for, they've learned a lot during the videos. So they're saying thank you to us, but I'm also saying thank you to you guys for all the good questions, because your questions are probably the same questions that they had. And by answering or getting a chance to give you my best advice in regards to the questions, you know, you're helping out other people. So please keep the questions coming, keep tuning in. Appreciate it. Okay. What kind of lures can I troll on a regular paddle kayak? I want to work out, cruise all the same time. Makana ST or anybody else that's getting into it and you want to try trolling lures. 15 years plus, probably longer than that. The hands down best kayak trolling lures, Yozuri Crystal Minnow. If you're going to be in shallow water, get the floating one. If you're going to be in deeper water where you're not going to get them hung up, go with the sinking. There's a floating and a sinking. Yozuri Crystal Minnow GHIW or the C4. The GHIW is the blue sardine with the black dots on the side. The C4 is the black top with the silver sides. Those two, I can see all the old timers out there who know about crystal minnows going, you tell them, that's the one. GHIW C4 Yozuri Crystal Minnows, probably the best lures for small boats or kayaks, hands down. Let's go ahead and check out what questions we got on Instagram. All right. Hawaiian Lavaya, I want to just take a quick little moment. You're always on Instagram. You're always answering questions. Mahalo to that, Hawaiian Lavaya. I want to make sure you know that I appreciate you, because you do a great job on our Instagram. I appreciate that. If I order something today, when do I have to pick it up? If you do an online order and you do a local pickup, we will hold your items for approximately 3 months. 3 months, okay? After 3 months, we're gonna take them and we're gonna divide them and split them amongst the staff, because you had 3 months. Just reach out if you have any issues coming down right away. Don't even worry about it. We'll hold your stuff for 3 months. It's paid for, it's locked in, it's in the pickup bin, all right? If you have a hard time coming down to pick up your online pickup because you thought, I want to save $8 shipping and do a local pickup, but you got to come all the way across the island, give us a call. We can work it out. Maybe we can ship it for you. Or if you have somebody who lives down Ever Beach side, send them a screenshot of your order, and we'll allow somebody else to pick it up on your behalf. All right. What are the questions we got? Can plug with a 5K Stratic 20-pound braid, 25-pound fluoro, and the 1 4-ounce and 1 3-ounce poppers? Yes. Yes, you can plug with that setup, absolutely. He's got 25-pound test braid on a Stratic 5K, and he's using 25-pound test fluorocarbon. That is a almost perfect setup for those lures. Those, the 1.4 ounce popper and the 1.3 ounce wood popper, those are designed. We brought those in because a lot of you guys got whipping poles and you're not really ready to go hardcore into the plugging. You can basically plug with your whipping pole with those lures. They're the perfect sizes. That's the reason why we brought them in. We've got years worth of data of what people want to buy. That's the reason why we're bringing in those budget lures. All right, and they're great prices. How long will you guys usually take to repair rod tips? I think on average you're looking no more than 3 weeks. 3 weeks, but lately Brad's been on point. You're looking at 1 to 2 weeks. All right, you drop them off here at the shop. There's a price sheet on the board if you want to scan it over before you drop it off so you know what you're getting into. Brad does an incredible professional job. He's done at least 3 jobs for me personally. Put on bell holders, put on butt caps for a few of our customers. He's fixed rod tips for me. He does a great job, guys. Brad from our shop, but you do have to drop it off in person. You can't ship your stuff to us. Okay. What's the best hookup on sardines? What's the best to hook up on sardines? To be honest, Tronet. Illegal hide Tronet. No, sorry. A lot of guys like to snag them. A lot of times they'll just basically have a lead on the back side and a hook on the front side, like a treble or something. They'll cast it past the school and they'll ring that, just rip it through and try to snag them for sardines. By the way, which is not illegal unless, of course, you're in a harbor. And then at that point, based on the hook sizes and snagging, you can't do it. But if you're out at the beach where there's no regulations in regards to how many hooks you can use, you can snag them. Wallace swears to me that he uses damashi for catching sardines. I have never tried it. He swears to me it works. So sometimes you can take a damashi, but instead of putting the damashi behind the lead, you put the lead on the back side of the damashi and you bring those little lures before the lead comes through and breaks up the school. All right, hopefully that answers your question or gives you some pointers in the right direction. What's the best reel for a heavy action pull? Heavy action pull usually gonna be rated up to 60-pound test, so you're gonna be looking at Penn 4.0. 113H2LW is the China-made red plate. Penn US 113W, which is the wider, more expensive black and silver Penn reel. Or you can go with the Torium 50. Those are 3 reels that we stock here at the shop. Those are great for a heavy action pull. Are you having a grand opening party for the new location? OQ, probably. I have dreams, bro. I wanna throw a big paina to celebrate the opening of the new shop. I just don't have a set date yet, and I can't make plans until I get everything kind of worked out. We have a lot of work to do on the shop, and we have a lot of money to spend on that. So we have to spend a lot of money to get it there. So it's gonna be a little while. I'm setting for sure by no later than July 1st, but we hope to open sooner. And of course, you know us, we know how to reach out to you. We're gonna let you guys know when the time comes. All right, real quick, let's see what else we got. I saw another question come through. What is a Penn 6.0 best used for bait caster slide? Daniel, I don't recommend the 6.0 for sliding for beginners. The 6.0 is for so-off 808 with the big, huge Hawaiian hands. It's not an easy to cast reel, but if you're gonna be dump shotting for slide, the 6.0 would probably be your slide bait reel. If you're casting off and you got a deep drop, you just need to get it right past the ledge, let it sink down to the bottom, and it'll take out line on its own. The 6.0 is a good deep line capacity, slower gear ratio, but a solid all-around tank of a reel. Brada Lance says Damashi Sabiki, Damashi or Ahi blood meat, small hook work for sardines. I think that's how you spell it. Yeah, Damashi is right. You got it right, Brada Lance. Thank you guys for all the input. I appreciate it. Can you slide with a Trinidad 40? Absolutely. Trinidad is going to be not a 60 to 80. I would probably going to be best with a 50 to 60 pound test. The Torium 40, the Trinidad 40, is the same as a Trinidad 50, but with a more narrow spool. You have the same gears as you would on the 50, but you have a smaller line capacity, which means that you probably shouldn't go straight 80 on it. 60-pound test or 50-pound test should be pretty good with the Trinidad. And yes, you can slide, even with 50-pound test. And these nice medium game slides that we now have for $16.99 on highfishgear.com. 10-pack. All right, let's see what other questions we got. Depends on... my primary 2 weeks. Okay. Okay, Brad actually commented on the post right now, and he says about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks standard repair time for rods here at the shop. 3G Damashi, no need snag. Okay. Wallace says 3G Damashi. If you go to our website, search for the word Damashi, D-A-M-A-S-H-I, you'll come up with the Yamashita Damashis, and choose the 3G version is the one that Wallace says works for sardines the best. Any plans for workshops in the new studio? We're actually going to have a little bit of space on the backside, and we plan on having some classes. You know, there's a lot of questions that need to get answered that we can't answer during our videos, but we're gonna offer like a little bit of a one-on-one, not a one-on-one, like a one-on like maybe 6 or 7 people. And we'll have some free classes on, you know, basic whipping, basic dunking, maybe some basic bait casting. We'll talk with some guys that tie flies, maybe have a fly instructional. You know, we want to make it a little more community thing where you guys can come down, learn. And of course, we're always going to be asking for people if you're going to volunteer to teach some classes. We don't plan on making any money from it. We just want to, hey, we're in our own community. We want to raise up our community. That's what it's all about. But yeah, we do plan on having some workshops and some classes for sure. Okay. Best way to catch potchies. That is Uncle Wallace right there. Uncle Wallace loves him some lead. He loves him some 1 ounce and a quarter lead and a nice glow fly. And he just basically casts, and he spends half the night retying his rigs when they get stuck up. It really depends on the spot. Certain spots require different techniques, but the best way, of course, is probably just going to be a straight egg lead, and you gotta get that lead close to the bottom, and you got. It's worth the risk, is what Wallace keeps saying. High risk, high reward is what he's kept saying. After I lost like 2 flash bombs, son of a. There it is. High risk, high reward in the comments. Okay, by the way, I am already 2 minutes over 4 o'clock. I gave you guys 17 minutes, a quick abbreviated version of the High Fish Gear show. I gotta jump and go do auctions. Get guys already lining up on auctions. High Fish Gear deals. Let me tell you what we got going up for auction. By the way, do you guys hear there's a new Vanford out? We got 5Ks available on the website. There might be one going up for auction today. 4 p.m. High Fish Gear deals. Mahalo for watching. If I did not get to your comment and you do want an answer, please, once the video posts, please post that question in the comments. We'll do our best to respond. Aloha.